Good day, I'm Anne Dollinschicken here listening to Coffee Conversations about influencer marketing. In today's episode, we're in conversation with Leon van Vuuren, an optompreneur and founder of Optique. His knowledge of digital marketing that he gained from studying the subject at UCT, combined with his MBA for executive development, and all of this partnered with being an optometrist and an entrepreneur, led him to open his own optometrist outlets. Grab a coffee and listen as we discuss how simplifying the optometry market for customers is proving to be a game changer. That putting yourself in your customer's shoes and measuring everything are great ways to inform parts of your marketing direction. The power of celebrity and nano influencers and how each has its place, and including influencer marketing as an additional touchpoint for audience to see, add brand trust. Enjoy. If you enjoy this podcast, you will also enjoy our fortnightly newsletter that keeps you up to date with influencer news from around the world. Subscribe at the link in the show notes.
This podcast series has been made possible through an exclusive sponsorship from SA's #1 nano influencer platform, theSALT. Most brands have a communication line to their existing customers, but not a way to get them to have additional positive brand conversations. theSALT solves the problem by identifying brand fans and getting them to talk more about their positive brand experiences. theSALT have a database of over 140,000 registered brand fans and in-depth information on each to perfectly match your brand to the right influencers. Reach out to them now and see what they can do for you.
Good morning, Leon. Thank you so much for joining us today and talking to us about all the amazing things of influencer marketing that you've experienced. But please tell us more about who you are and a brief overview of how Optique Optometrist actually came into being.
Hi, Anne. Thank you so much. It's a real privilege. I like to call my name optompreneur, or my description, because I am an optometrist, but I'm also an entrepreneur. I really enjoy, and I've always been entrepreneurial since even pre-primary or primary school. So yes, our company is 4 years old. Optique is a group of optometry practices, and we are focused towards two things: the changes that we want to make in the industry, and firstly, that's simplifying eye care, making it just much easier to access proper eye care, removing all the noise that there is. And I think, if you look at Uber, for instance, they've really just simplified the way that you interact with the industry, and by that way, they've made the whole industry bigger. So that's one part, and the second is just to make it much more affordable to a bigger portion of the South African demographic. So yeah, that's a short intro on who we are and what we do, and focused on being. And as a brand, we like to say that we are an everyday's man brand. We are for the everyman day. So we don't have brands and things like that within the store. We focus on the best possible quality, and that's why I think these campaigns that we've been doing has worked so well, because just everybody can relate to it.
I absolutely agree with you. And I love the couple of points you pointed out there, especially why you guys became into business. It's the way of the future. It's all about simplification, giving a good experience to your clients. And also, if that comes in cost effective, that is fantastic.
Absolutely. Yeah. We see it more and more. And the principle is just selling the way that we would like to buy it, and if I had to go into being non-biased and go into an optometrist, I just want to answer to get two questions answered, and that's how much is an eye test and how much is a pair of glasses. And that's really been difficult for industry to answer, and we've been able to simplify that to one price for an eye test, which is 99 Rand, and one price for a frame, which is 2,500 Rand, which you can pay off interest free over 6 months, but get them now. And by doing that, I think in a way that we've also made the word of mouth marketing much easier, because people can say, wow, I love your glasses. Where did you get them and how much did you pay? Because that's what people do. And you can give an answer straightforward to that. And when the people that you've referred come back to our stores, and they get exactly the same bill, then there's no surprises. I think, that transparency is something that our generation is looking for. Just straightforward business.
And I love that you put kind of the human experience in the middle of it and look at what you would like. And most people, it's human nature. And you're right. Like when I go for an eye test, I just want to know how much I'm going to pay for eye tests and how much is my frames or my glasses. And then I'm like, good, I'm good to go. And to your point, if I can easily identify that and there's no surprises and it's a simple, easy way to go about it, I'm going to tell everyone about it, right?
That's it. Yeah, absolutely. And the easiest way to compare it is when you go and service your car. I always know, you ask before and how much is it going to cost, and I always wait for that phone call around 10 and 11 saying, oh, there's a few extras that you didn't know about. And if I don't like that, nobody does. So why are we, treating our customers differently than the way that we experience the market out there? So I think just simplifying the process to more and more, it's the ultimate sophistication.
There's a big percentage of people obviously around the world that wear glasses and lenses. I mean, I think everyone I know either have lenses or glasses, and the ones who don't are like really superhuman to me that they don't need those, which is amazing. But do you have kind of an idea of how many people in South Africa we have that's in need of glasses or lenses?
So statistically, globally, 2.2 billion people are in need of eye care. So that translates to approximately 30%. Half of that has conditions that, or have conditions that could have been prevented. But in South Africa, I would say realistically, you're looking also like around about 18 million people. But 13 million out of the 18 million cannot afford the eye care or access it, which is really shocking. So it's truly just the LSM of, I would say, 7, 8, 9, and 10 that can have access to affordable eye care, and that's why we've made our eye test 99 rand, which I know is still not affordable to the whole of South Africa. But, just finding out the status of your eye care shouldn't be, if we take the example, LSM 8, if you earn 7,500 rand per month, you are part of South Africa's top 10% wealthiest people. And if I ask you the average price of an eye test, which it is currently, which is 550 rand, I'm asking you to give me 7% of your salary just to find out if you need glasses or not. So that's one aspect of it. And the second is to answer your question more specifically is anybody and almost everybody after the age of 40 starts battling with their near vision due to some changes that the eye undergoes. So eventually everybody will have to need glasses. But now the digital age, protecting our eyes has become more and more important against the blue light that is displayed through all digital devices. And so it's almost like if I could have the ideal situation, give everybody a pair of blue blocking glasses or sunglasses, glasses, and I compare it always to sunglasses. If your work was to work outside the whole day, of course you would wear sunglasses to protect your eyes. And similarly, I think everybody that does anything digital needs to protect their eyes with glasses blocking that harmful blue light.
I think that's really interesting and something we don't really think about because it's so just part of our lives, sitting in front of laptops, opening our phones at all hours, that even if we wear glasses, sometimes we don't have them on. We just kind of go about our day. But to your point, when I go outside, I'm fanatic about my sunglasses. Like I've got so many pairs. I don't go out without things. My eyes are so sensitive. Why is there not more education for people to say, please, you need also glasses when you're sitting in front of your laptop all day?
I think our industry is segmented in such a way that everybody's fighting their own fight. And there's not one single, I would say, organization that's pushing this information. So, there's definitely a lack of education, just general education to the public. And that's why we've said, if you come for an eye test, it should be affordable. And that's probably the best way of explaining it to somebody one-on-one and reaching them on their level and their situation. But it's a good question. I really can't answer the big why, but that would be my answer.
So with you mentioned, we're obviously living in a digital age. We're all staring at laptops all day. We all have internet if we work in this industry. Have you subsequently seen a shift in customer behavior with regards to optometry and specifically over the last couple of years, especially of how they are booking appointments? I'm assuming people aren't just walking into stores anymore and booking their eye appointments anymore.
The statistics is so interesting. We measure absolutely everything. And firstly, just to say the way that the internet has changed the behavior, I would never forget, I think it was in my first year as an optometrist, which was just shy, I think 11 years ago. And I told the patient one or two facts, and I left the consultation room to go and measure his glasses. And when I came back, he already Googled what I've told him. So people are definitely much more aware, of course, which is fantastic, of just vetting information and making sure that we've got access to it. But the online booking, that is something that we've brought in from day one. When I speak about online booking, it's not just here's a form that you can fill in and somebody will phone you back. We've got a system on our website that you can book online directly live into our appointment books. And
Amazing.
It sends you an SMS and reminder and all of that. But at least, I would say, 40% of our appointments are made online, which doesn't sound like a lot, but if you take into consideration, people like still phoning in. People still like walking in, but 40% is for us. We've just seen that growing over the past. So people are trusting the online process more and more.
I'm surprised at that statistic. I would have thought it would be the other way around, to be honest.
Yes, one would think that, but I think the fact regarding the demographics of our patients, the average patient is 41, so we've got a much older demographic. When people start going to the optometrist or really need an optometrist, they are more reluctant to, I think, newer ways of doing things. So our average patient is 41. So that just means 41 is still, in my opinion, a very young person, but yes, that definitely plays a role in the interaction.
No, that makes complete sense. Now, I was just going to ask you, oh my gosh, I must be ancient then, if 41 is old.
Not old at all. Not old at all. There's just a lot of 60-plus patients that's bringing the average up.
Yeah.
But interesting enough, through all the campaigns and marketing that we do, females between the age of 25 and 34, Google, Facebook, all of these campaigns has just shown that that's our target market, or people that finds the highest interest on what we have to say.
No, that makes complete sense. And I also think the older generation is more comfortable to speaking to an actual person when you phone in, because they might have a couple of questions the first time. And then maybe after that, once you've told them, you know what, next time just book online, they might do that. But I completely hear you. So for that 40% that does book online, have you kind of changed your marketing ways a little bit as you've seen that rising?
Absolutely. We've continued to invest in online marketing, which is, online marketing is 90% of our marketing budget. And we've looked at various ways of bringing in, because I think, coming back to the point of our demographics of our patients, it's important to not just do another marketing campaign, but do it in a way that people can trust your brand and find relevance to it. So we've played around with, or started exploring using influencers, and more specifically nano influencers. In the past, our brand we've relied on South African celebrities because the one thing about our business. Sorry, just to step back, is the fact that the only catch is we don't have any brands in our stores. So we've got our own in-house brand, which is just the Optique frame. It's got no big branding on it. It's a small triangle. So we found that we want to build that brand out and have people to trust it. Because you could think, if you don't have a big name behind it, people might not trust it. So we've used in the past, we've got a list of ambassadors. But yes, it's one way of making people aware of our brand. But what we want to achieve is that a trust in our brand to deliver what people are trusting us to deliver. And using nano influencers has definitely been a new avenue of building that trust.
Amazing. So let me ask you this. You've now had experience with your kind of macro celebrity influencers, who's your ambassadors, and you've also had your nano influencers now, who, to your point, is much more relatable, and people kind of know them in some way or other. They're the person next door. That trust definitely is there. So what would you say your differences in experiences would be macro versus nano? And I'm completely of the opinion that there's space for both of them. I think they both have different roles to play. But in your experience, how did you see this play out, and what was kind of the big differences for you?
The macro influences. So we've had one or two, which for instance, with Minky van der Westhuizen, we've had a show, a segment on her show, and we made her a pair of glasses. And once we did that, there were so many people that wanted exactly her frame. We actually had to import another batch of it, which was really great. But there's not a lot of engagement regarding macro influences from a customer point of view. So it's good in terms of a brand representation, but we found that nano influencers, there's a lot of engagement. People asking questions, like, wow, that's unbelievable. That the fact that you are selling or you're providing an eye care at 99 Rand. People asking, where's the locations? Do you have what's the website? So for us, that's much more of a measurable outcome, because there's engagement, and I think that's the future of the online marketing.
For sure. And like you say, you like to measure everything. So when you have your nano influencers and they're telling you where to go, where to find your branches, it's easy to measure those link clicks, easy to measure the appointment that's being booked, and it's all trackable.
Absolutely, it is. And especially with the agency that we've worked with, they've really provided us with in-depth feedback. And if we compare it to our results, there was, I think, between a 15 and 20% reduction on cost per impression and cost per click. So for us, it's the conversion ratio was also higher. So that just shows you that it is the fact that, like you said, it's through people that's known in the community, and it might be somebody that's in your church, that's got a few followers, or a friend of a friend, or it might be somebody that's just well known in smaller communities. Like I live in a town. Well, it's a city, but I mean, compared to Joburg, it's a town. Okay, I'm called Paul, near Cape Town, and everybody knows everybody. So if somebody that you trust posts something, and even though it's a paid partnership, that their own ethics, they won't align with a company or a product that they don't feel comfortable with, and that's where a level of trust is formed.
I also love that nano influencers, exactly like I said, they're not going to align themselves with the brand just because they're paying them. Because everyone you showing this to or talking to about this online, offline, they know you. And if they know that you don't even like this company, you've never used this product, they will call you out on it, and they won't risk that.
They won't. Absolutely not. I mean, because it's so personal and so directly linked to them. There's no three layers between them and the brand that they are representing. So yeah,
Absolutely.
and the way that we've used our influences as well, it's just been a reflection of the truth. So as an example, we've given all of these nano influencers and said, go to the store, get an eye test. We'll provide you with a pair of glasses, but we honestly just want your honest feedback on your experience, and if it's positive or negative, just make a post about your experience. And one of the most amazing things that I've liked about the campaigns that we've done is there's a questionnaire that we've said, a few key measurables that we would like to find out from them, asking about what was the experience, what can we improve on, if they had to give us a rating and all of those things. It's also just a great way of getting honest feedback about your business, because it's transparent.
Hashtag no filter. That's how this podcast is delivering real down-to-earth stories told by real people. For an influencer campaign that takes brand conversation to everyday real-life situations, go check out theSALT.co.za. They are the undisputed experts in real influencer marketing.
And that's actually really great research for you guys as well, because they might come up something over and over again that you didn't even know about, bad or good. And you can actually, if it's something good, really start focusing on that more, because people seem to really resonate or love that part of your brand or your service. And then on the other hand, if it's negative, you can always start correcting that. And you would have never known about it unless you actually had a little survey going.
Exactly. And I think the nature of these campaigns is there's a educational or training session beforehand, where we get an opportunity to share what we are doing. And that's the beginning of a relationship. So there's really, I think, a sense of authenticity where they feel that they can provide us with honest feedback, because they know where we're coming from. We're not a big corporate company. That we are also just South Africans that started a business trying to solve a problem that we have as a country. And by them giving us honest feedback, they know that they're making us better and stronger. And everybody's so considerate. It's absolutely 99% positive, but we like to eliminate that 1%, and we're asking for that constructive criticism that you
Absolutely.
get. And again, you're getting it in a way that's not out there, an angry customer making a Facebook post or whatever. So it's also a safe environment to really get honest feedback.
Those training sessions are so important, just to start having that relationship with your influencers. They see there's a human or a personality behind the brand. Like you say, you're not a big corporate. There's actually someone behind it who's got a passion for their business. And I think that relationship also helps them understand your business better, so that they can do more informative posts or create more better authentic content. But also, like you say, when you ask that questionnaire and you ask for constructive criticism or feedback, they'll feel comfortable in doing so.
Yes, absolutely. I love what you're saying there. And I think it ultimately leads to also them being ambassadors for us. If we wanted it to work out that way or not. But just glasses is such a in your face banner that's on somebody's face. No pun intended. But so it's always a point of discussion. It's almost like getting your hair done or your nails done. People would say, "Wow, it's beautiful. Where did you get it?" So it's a physical discussion point. And if they are happy and they walk away from the campaign and we've improved their lives and they can tell people about it, there's always also an organic return on investment that is not measurable, but which we believe, of course, is business coming back.
Always. Absolutely. I agree with that. So I love what you're saying about these campaigns that you've done with your nanos. So my question to you is then, do you use influence marketing kind of as a standalone in this last campaign, or was it part of kind of a multimedia campaign? So did you have digital, out of home, television? Was it an integrated campaign?
It was integrated. So we do a combination of TV, radio, and mostly digital through Facebook. We've started now flirting a bit with TikTok and Google ad campaigns. So we do through the line, but what's nice about it is you can because of the statistics you can single out the performance of the campaign and know what the ROI and the results are.
I think it's so important if you have the opportunity and you have the budget to do an integrated campaign, purely because we are multidimensional people. We don't just see things on social media or just online. We do different things. So I hear something on the radio, I then see it in the magazine, or I see it on TV, and then I see it on social media through my favorite influencer or my friend in this case, nano influencers. And it just is those touch points that then just reinforces the trust in the brand, getting to know the brand. And ultimately, when I need to go for an eye test, I'm going to go, oh, wait a minute. I saw all these people talking about Optique. They all had a positive experience and I heard it on the radio. Maybe I'll try them.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly it. And I think the key is having a purple cow, something that people can remember it with. So for us, it's the 99 Rand eye test. So if people can Google 99 Rand optometrist and we come up, we're very happy. But it's that constant awareness because that's a way that we can tell people what we do and how much it costs. And it's a way of remembering us. Through the line, yes, like you said, it is expensive if you have an integrated marketing campaign. But that's such a big section of marketing is the brand awareness and brand building, and it comes with time. And even for myself, I remember seeing something online, and then I drove, and in front of me was a car with like stickers on it from the same company. And because I saw it a second time, I immediately was like, oh, okay, no, actually, I'm going to consider contacting the company. So. And again, we're all human. We all work in the same way, and you can't expect to get all your results from one stream of marketing. So the nano influencer marketing campaigns is a subdivision of the digital marketing. So it's not the only way that we've approached the market. But definitely we can see the influence of it.
Love that. So let me ask you this, and I love asking all my guests this because it's always kind of an interesting answer, is that before you actually got involved with working on influencer campaigns, did you have like a certain perception of influencer marketing? Did you think it was effective? Or did you have kind of it wasn't really for you until you kind of tried it?
It is a good question. I've answered it previously, but I would say, I don't know what's the right word, but the only obligation that I probably really had was, the fact that it's like a paid partnership. You think, people will do things just because they're getting paid. And we've touched on this previously.
Yeah.
But once I started working with the influencers and seeing the level of relationship, and because they've also got to opt in, it's not it's a one-sided thing, and them asking questions about what we do and genuinely showing the interest, and just the way that they've made their posts, that it's absolutely genuine. Although it's paid, there's such an authentic component to it. So that was the objection, and I'm glad that I was proven wrong.
Me too. And my kids are always, they come to the party and they're like, you know what, I was wrong. I gave it a try and it was actually great. So I'm glad you're there as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we've spoken about the agency that you've used to do your influencer campaign through. How did they actually assist you? Like, kind of, what do you think, if you had to do this by yourself, which you have struggled with, that they kind of took away?
Oh, no, there's no way. We would have been able to do this on ourselves. So if am I allowed to mention the agency? So the SALT agency.
Absolutely.
I just went online. I searched for it, and they came up, and I was immediately just grasped by the way that they've engaged with me, um, with urgency and statistics, which I like, and their whole platform just made it so easy. The way that you can look, I would say, they provide you with a list of influences based on your requirements. The whole process was just so easy, because they do all the hard work. Getting the list of the right people, making the influencers information available. They send them questionnaires as well, so that you can understand their way of thinking about the industry. Um, and yeah, so it's just been really. I was so surprised by all the I would say the IP and technology, and how they've not automated, but use technology um, to to create this platform for us to get this done. So yeah, I would. That was really and like I just want to make it clear, this is not a paid partnership with them at all. It's just give credit where credit is due, and it's just been really surprisingly refreshing interaction.
That's amazing. And we love it when people have good experiences, because so often when you try and do influence marketing by yourself as a brand, if you don't have experience in it, it can be really, really difficult and painful to the point where you're just like, I don't want to do this again. So I'm glad you found an agency that helped you with that.
Yeah, and it's a blessing that it's the first one was the right one. So because a lot of times you can go through trial and error, and it's not a right fit. But their service has just been 11 out of 10. It's been fantastic.
Oh, amazing. So then what was your biggest learnings and insights that you actually took from this campaign that other people who's listening to this, or other marketers listening to this, could maybe learn from?
My biggest take from this was the fact that the performance of the campaigns was cheaper at what we could get it at, which is impressive, because I think our results is already, even market related. It's really good, and they've been able to get that better. And I don't know what to prescribe it to, except the fact that the nano influencers has a reach of trust, if I can put it that way. So and that aligns with our brand ethos, is building that trust. So that way of marketing also aligns with the way that we want to do things. So that's been a great fit for us from day one.
So that brings us to the end of our chat, Leon. Thank you so much for making the time and speaking to us about your experience with influence marketing. And Optique is just doing so well. I mean, you've only been in existence for 4 years. And part of that was like 2 years in a pandemic. And you guys are just flying. So congratulations.
Thank you so much.
No, it's a huge pleasure. Before we let you go, can you please tell our listeners where they can find you online or find Optique online if they maybe want to learn more about yourself as a business person and what you do, and also Optique if they want to go for a really cost-effective and efficient eye test?
So thanks for the opportunity. It's really been fantastic for the listeners to easily get us on our website. Really has everything that you'd like to know. But I feel it's important to spell Optique. And so It's OP for Papa, T for Tommy, IQUE. Or you can just Google 99 Rand eye test optometrist and you'll find us. It's pretty easy.
Wonderful.
And there's links from there. We've got an online store, and something that's really unique now is we are, literally yesterday launched and partnered with a company called Palestone Africa that has provided an agency to bring in glasses for colorblind people. So we're the first group in South Africa to provide that as a solution to colorblind people. And if you go and look at the videos of people experiencing color for the first time, it's really emotional. But even those type of glasses is available online with our online contact lens store as well. So yeah, just a one-stop shop in terms of your eye care needs. That's it.
That's amazing. I've never heard of glasses for our colorblind people to help them see color. How does that work?
And it's 8% of men are colorblind, so it's actually quite common. It's scary. So colorblindness is a confusion of colors within the back of the eye in terms of its receptors. So these glasses just helps to block out the confused areas of colors and helps to single out them. So which is cool. You can go onto the website, go onto the section of the color vision glasses. You'll see we've got a link there, things to do online. And then you can take a test. It takes probably a minute, and it will tell you what type of, are you colorblind or not, and what type of colorblindness do you have, and then also accordingly what type of lenses is suitable to fix your colorblindness. I had a friend, and I gave him a pair last week, and it's just been so rewarding to see his experience in seeing color for the first time. So yeah, go and check it out.
That is phenomenal. I'm definitely going to go check that out because I've never heard of this before. And that's just kind of, I feel, to your point, just opens up a whole new world for people who are colorblind.
Yes, absolutely. And in South Africa has been waiting too long for this now. So we're glad to have the opportunity.
Oh, congratulations to getting that deal as well. You guys are just doing amazingly well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Leon. I wish you well with everything, and I'm sure we'll chat in the future again.
Excellent. Again, thank you for the opportunity from our side, and I'm looking forward to the next chat.
It's a huge pleasure. Goodbye, Leon.
Bye-bye.
This podcast series has been made possible by theSALT, the influencer company that turns influence into affluence. In the same way that information is presented in this podcast in a relatable and authentic way, theSALT gets your customers to tell their real brand stories to their community. Go to thesalt.co.za to learn more about how theSALT can help you grow your business.